Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here, spokesman, advocate, basic human rights for all people. This particular post is for my subscribers. It indicates I got roughly around 400, maybe. And I don't know if you listen to me that often, but if you happen to run across this, I invite you to listen to it because I need your support. I'm considering some things, and the conversation that I have, if you subscribe to it, then it's something that causes you to do that. So we should be in the same lane somewhere. So I trust that I could share some information with you and ask you for some guidance by responding at the end of the video. I There's something that says enough is enough. Enough is enough. You know, it appears as if there's some things that needs to be done that we as people find it very difficult to do. And difficult that might be, but it still has got to be done. For instance, putting away guns. Guns. We see what guns do. We know what guns are about. And yet, regardless of how the citizenry want to get rid of them, many of them want to keep it. But when you start talking about democracy, you talk about majority, something like that, masses want to get rid of the guns. And the minority wants to keep them. Democracy says that you should get rid of guns, but for some strange reason, we're still holding on to the guns. So something else is going on that's outside of democracy. Did you hear what I said? There's something else going on that's outside of democracy. This is just one thing that in that moment, in this little moment of time, we got a chance to identify. And you must understand that for those who want to use guns, they got reasons. What are guns used for? Usually, guns are used to kill. Now, many would say guns are used to protect. Well, okay, if that's what if you feel that it protects, then it protects you. So that's the way we got. Masters say it kills. We don't want anything to do with it. Rest of them say, well, we need to. So I say, if the master says that we don't want guns because they kill, and the only people that want guns are people who want to defend, I want to know what are they going to defend against. They can't be defending against. Oh, they're defending guns, defending against themselves. Well, there's still a way to take away a need for guns, and I would like to share them with you as we go through this. Friends, this is a very important situation, and it must be dealt with. It is not being dealt with. This is a reason anybody who got a solution would want to make sure that it got accepted. And so it's going to take some advocacy. So that's going to, something that perhaps later on, I hope it will mean that maybe a change will allow that to happen. You know, we talk about people not being above the law. We talk about that quite frequently. Nobody's above the law. And middle income people and poor people always say rich people are above the law. But then not all rich people are above the law. Certain rich people are above the law. And then they can be weaved on down to even specifically certain. And then you can get to the point to start committing suicide. The thing of it is that people are above the law. In our time, we have watched a man by the name of Donald J. Trump, according to what the statements have been, have broken all kinds of rules, regulations, and laws. And he's still out here throwing gasoline on the fire. You ask yourself, how could that be done? Well, it's more than just him. You can bet your last money on that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's one thing to complain about things. It's another to have some solutions. I personally believe that it's okay to complain. But when you start raising your voice in complaint, I think you should make sure that you have some sort of a solution. When you say you got some sort of a solution, then you know when you're complaining and people ignoring you, then you know that's disrespectful. But if you got a solution, they can't have one, then you offer them yours. And if they're trying to deny it, ignore it, then that means that whatever pain and suffering that comes from whatever is going on is okay by them, acceptable by them, and the fact that you are not in line with that and you got a solution, then tough luck. Well, that has got to be dealt with as well, because we all matter. It doesn't get away with trying to pretend like maybe this time you don't have to matter. No, we always matter. And so, ladies and gentlemen, when I think about that, I'm thinking, well, what can I do? Because I'm complaining right now, and I know the solution. And then I got my history, and then somebody says, well, we're not living yesterday, we're living today. If you had it yesterday and didn't work, yesterday is behind you. Then you say, well, why would I try today? Different day. Well, see, ladies and gentlemen, this, as far as me trying to get in a position that I can really have some impact on the things that I talk about. What do I talk about? Heaven on earth. Let me just clear that up. What do I talk about? I talk about heaven on earth. And you know, for you, my subscribers, when I say heaven on earth, this is what I mean. I mean that humans, their desires, their needs, and their wants are met. I mean basically that their needs for survival are met. I mean that they understand things that comes with responsibility and they meet their responsibility. Now, what am I saying for those of you who maybe haven't heard any of those videos? Here it is. The earth, all things belong to God. I've learned this. And I thought maybe we all had, but apparently we haven't. Or we have, but we have accepted an order that is contradictory or contrary to the way God's work. And we find ourselves messed up. This is why I say, for me, enough is enough. So when I'm thinking, if we honor God by respecting that all things belong to God, we, the people, God's as well. God's people as well. We were made by God. And there are certain things, the way we were made basically is, most of it is common amongst us. We got the same kind of systems doing the same kinds of things in each of us, requiring the same kinds of things for survival, each of us. And the resources necessary to make sure that those things that are essential for our survival are met, they have been given already out there free. All we have to do is get it, do it. And so since we all benefit, all need, then every last one of us benefit by engaging ourselves in the process of creating, making sure that there is enough, that there's an abundance of enough, so that every human being on earth, or here where we're working at, have what they need, want, and desire. And the beautiful thing is, ladies and gentlemen, when I speak about the heavenly way, I'm talking about, though every one of us have to engage ourselves in a career or a job, we choose the one that gives us our greatest joy, the one that we are just excited about going and engaging ourselves in. And yet we got so many people, because everybody's employed, we don't have to be working all the time, like 40-hour weeks and stuff like this. No. I don't know exactly what it would be at this moment in time, but it would be so much less. Give you so much time to do so many other things, giving you a chance to live, for your dreams to become something that you can touch, that you can feel. You know, I'm thinking about living as the way they live in heaven. Your needs, you live in, when I mentioned something about those basic essentials, more specifically, I'm talking about the food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, transportation, the infrastructure, and everything. Now, see what the message that I've been given is this: is that all things that have been that we see on earth, all of the things that are unique and nice and we like or don't, like computers and electric lights and cars and that can park themselves and all of the things that we like. Each of those were gifts that came through the imagination of people for the purpose of doing what they do for for people to access, to utilize. These were gifts, and they weren't to be limited and restricted by ones who got money. Money was not considered at all from the foundation of that coming through the man's mind. Money never crossed it until they got out here and they started talking about profit. So that's a major thing that's got to be dealt with. And so what I'm basically saying, ladies and gentlemen, on top of all of that, for us to live in peace and be prosperous and free, we have to engage ourselves in the process. And in order for any of these things to change, to happen, we as a nation, our system of government has got to change. Right now, our system of government, we call it capitalism or democratic capitalism, whatever you want to call it, it has produced this. It has reduced all of this, what I don't want to have nothing to do with it anymore. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, the killing, the terror, the walking around with guns, the war. I don't want to have the hatred, the racism, the bigotry. No. This is what's happening in this world. We don't have to live like this. We can do better than this. I don't care how long we've been living like this. We can do better than this. And people who are trying to take us back to the past because they got no vision, they got nothing but something that we don't want to deal with again. But they want to take us back. They want to burn books. They want to tell you how to do that. My God, God made you be free to do the things that you do. Nobody to tell you you can't do that. We don't want that. No. If it doesn't cause pain, if it doesn't cause suffering, then it, for one reason or another, is admissible because it's you and yours. Hey, that's you too. That's you too. It's you as well. Now, what I look like saying you can't do that, it's not causing me any pain. It's not causing anyone any pain. There's nobody suffering from it. Now you love it. You want to do it. By God, this is something that you bring to the playground. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm talking about changing, now I'm talking about this. Now, forget about this Republican, Democrat. Forget about this. We're talking about billionaires and millionaires. No. We're talking about everybody being happy. Now, what does that mean? For those of you who are not clear, the resources belong to the people. They really belong to God. But they're here for the benefit of the people. Now, this is just getting down to the real nitty-gritty. I'm telling you just like it is. When I tell you I have been given information about how thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, by you, the people, can exercise the gifts that you have to make sure that we can have that kind of life that you say you want to die and go to. You don't have to die and go to it. You can put your hands to it and make it right here. No, that's what I'm going to talk to you about. I don't want some lying president sitting up there talking some crazy stuff. I don't want some old lying president over there trying to start a war with another nation, trying to kill people just for whatever stupid reason they want to do it. I'm tired of that crap. Look how old I am. I've been through this stuff. And now these jokers are lying. Can't you see? They're not coming up with anything new. How you going to do it? They're just saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. How you going to do it? Well, nothing. You aren't doing a darn thing. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to you about achieving something, but I want you to know This is no, I got this. This is, we the people got this. What does that mean? That means that you determine that there are certain things that you want Americans to live, that you want them to have their needs met, that you want them to live their dreams. That means all of us. And that means any restrictives that would take away from that has got to be eradicated. It got to be removed. No ifs and ands about it. We don't. If we want to live in peace, we got to make sure that everybody's satisfied. Because if you're not satisfied, how you gonna live in peace? Unless to not be satisfied and try to live in peace, that means somebody's a slave. And we tired of slaves. Slavedom's time is over. So slavedom had its day. All of this hatred and racism stuff. I know I'm talking sporadically. But look, ladies and gentlemen, look. I ran for president when Bill Clinton was running for president. I think I even ran before then with Jesse Jackson. I don't know, what was that, 88? Something like that. But the way I run is this. I'm running as a representative of the heavenly powers. Yes, I'm running president as a representative of the heavenly powers. I'm not talking about that stuff what people be talking about, that bondage God, that God that's finna burn your ass. No, I'm not running about that God. I'm running about a God of love. A God of love, a God that takes away your need, your desire, your want to be corrupted. It just eradicate that stuff. I mean, your daily living is just living. Not trying to think about who to exploit. Not trying to be a billionaire. What you gonna do with $1 billion? I mean, anything that you would do with $1 billion, you can do that anyway. So what's up with that? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to contemplate this. I did it with Clinton. I did it with George Bush in 2000. I even ran against Barack Obama. And you know he was suave. But I had to run against him because the things that I just got to share with you, Barack Obama, I don't know if they ever crossed his mind or not. But they never left my mind. In fact, it sold me till I have committed several crimes. I mean, you got other guys like let's use Trump for an example, since he on the front scene, out here committing crimes like nothing and trying to fool you. Anyway, you know where I want to go with that. But I have actually committed crimes for the purpose of getting your attention. See, when you don't run for money with money, nobody spreads your message. No, they don't have time to do that. I think they might even have pass a law that you can't run a person's message free. They might say unless you run everybody's free, and you know they're not going to do that. So it's not going to happen. Yet and still, I cannot use any money. Why can't I use money? I cannot use money because I got the best plan on earth. I got the best plan on earth. And any smart person knows that. And once they hear it, they'll run and go with it. But a fool could never get it. But at the same time, the opportunity must be there. Now, who's a smart or who's a fool? All I can say is this. We're all living in hell. So can't none of us say we're any smart. We are all fools at this present time. Everybody, and I'm not just talking about my subscribers. I'm talking to everybody. This is me speaking about what I see. We are all fools. If fools mean not accepting what we pray for when it's available to us, and we, for some reason, are so obsessed with something else we can't see what we're praying for when it's before us. To me, that's being a fool. And so, you know, I'm considering, and the only reason, to be honest and tell you the truth, now, I don't want to be no president. Don't think I'm ego tripping. Those were years ago. Years ago. Now, first of all, my health. I'm 73, almost 74 years old. I'm going, woo! And I'm a black man that came through basically on that poor scene, and my health care has not been adequate to the extent that I'm just a healthy guy. No, I'm not that. I got all kinds of problems that I can't even receive health care for. That's another reason why I want to make sure that this is dealt with. Everybody's supposed to have health care from the womb to the tomb. From the womb to the tomb. Isn't it amazing how people want to make sure that every child that gets in the womb pop outside, but they don't give a stink about them after they get here? That tells you it's not about realness. It's politics. It ain't nothing about real. But we want to make it about real. And so what I'm asking you to do, you've heard what I'm talking about. Do you think, what do you think? I don't know. What do you think about it? What do you think about it? For me, I don't want no Republican or no Democrat having power over poor folks. Because they're going to be poor when they come in and they're going to be poor when they leave. And I came through poverty. And I got a lot of people that I know from all walks of life that's in poverty. And I got a God that said they're not supposed to be in poverty. They might not know it, because if they knew it, they'd stand up and wouldn't take it. And that same statement stands for those who are causing it. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about all these rich people. All they want is money, 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 money. And I can't. It sounds like I'm knocking it, and I am. But the truth of it is, if they got it legit, they got it within the system. It's not something that you can really knock. I can't really knock something that's legitimate. If the system has said, well, we might be crooked, we might be one of the rooms of hell, but this is the way we do business down here, and everybody in this room say, oh, well, okay. Then if you do business like that for this particular room, then that's the way it is. Now I come down here and say, hey, this is crooked. Somebody say, well, that's the way it is, bro. I said, well, you're going to change that. They say, well, no, we aren't. I said, well, I figure if the people knew what you were doing, they would force you to change it. If they know that the pain and suffering that they feel is brought on by you, knowing that there's another that has made it possible for them to live as though they are kings and queens, it might not happen overnight, but somewhere down the line, beginning with me, I mean, I just can't talk. I got to walk. And you know what happens? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. How long have I talked? 20 minutes. Okay, I give myself, I'm going to end this within this in a second. Within this minute. I talked to you about this stuff, and you really, in order for you to experience heaven on earth, you got to change from this here stuff. Really, stuff have to belong to all of us. And we have to manage that stuff in such a way that we achieve that which we seek after. Peace, prosperity, freedom, joy, and all that kind of stuff, all our needs. And we have to do that stuff. That must be our aim. That must be what we go after. And it doesn't involve anything about becoming superior to another person, respecting racism and all that. It doesn't involve any of that stuff. That stuff is purely from hell. And anybody that knows God knows that is hell. And I'm asking the American people, while I'm still living, I don't know how much longer, but I'm asking you, will you please give God a chance? Because that stuff we've been playing in America has nothing to do with God. Church that we've been playing in America has nothing to do with God. You saw those people over there in the church talking about, come on over here and make Donald Trump be the president again, calling powers from everywhere. And they want you to think that was church. And they preach you, tell you that that's church. And you go back and forth, paying tithes and offerings to hear that crap. When the power is in your hand, God has given you the power to create whatever you want. And you're not subservient to anything or anyone. The true power and the only power is invisible, and it is allowed to live through you, made known to the world through you. And for your shortcomings will be highlighted by something else that lifts you up out of your shortness and bring you up. And we're always growing. Nobody ever there. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there. Please, if you have to listen to it again, do so. I'd appreciate it. And make your comments, if you will. Man, tell me something. Speak to me. Speak to me. I love you. Now, when I say I love you, I only can say that because God loves you. And in your pain, I can say it in a heartbeat. I never met you before, but I declare for living, your pain makes me cry. And when I hear something fantastic happen for you, I feel like it happened for me. But I know one thing, something like changing this society is going to take all of us. All of us. So I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. Until next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye for now.